Hello everyone, this is Steven from the Even Steven channel, and today's video is going to be about the Soviet SKS-45, which stands for something approximating SKS, semi-automatic carbine Simonov, model of 1945, something like that. So this is a video that my subscribers chose. I gave you a couple options. I said I was looking for a 7.62x39 rifle, and I was thinking about an SKS or the SIG MCX regulator. Now the SIG MCX regulator is kind of like SIG's ranch rifle, for lack of a better term. And while you might be surprised, the price difference wasn't that big for an authentic Soviet or Russian, people say Russian, but I guess really Soviet, SKS rifle and a SIG MCX regulator, because the MCX regulator by SIG has not been selling well, and you can get those for right now $1,200, $1,300, and depending on the example of SKS rifle you want, the prices weren't that far off. However, I let my subscribers choose, and they chose SKS. And I kept my word, and this is what we got. So I picked this up. I ordered online off Gunbroker. I was trying really hard to source an authentic, Russian, Soviet SKS locally. I just couldn't do it. So I ended up buying one on Gunbroker. Won't tell you how much I paid because it's probably too much. But it was a good amount of money. However, when my local FFL saw this, he goes, "Wow, this is the cleanest SKS I've seen in a long time." And yeah, it's actually pretty nice quality gun. It looks like it's been like Arsenal refinished because this like black paint on the bolt. I don't think they were originally like that. See how you can see that the paint's kind of rubbing off in certain places. You can see how the paint's rubbing off in certain places over there. He's like, "Wow, this is the cleanest SKS rifle I've seen in a long time." And he's right, because I picked out a really nice example. You can go buy a cheap Chinese SKS for like $500. However, I was kind of in a go big or go home kind of mindset when I ordered this. This is all matching. I do not know how to translate those letters. The ATF does not acknowledge serial numbers that are not in Latin characters. This is Cyrillic instead of Latin. So the gun has gotten its own new serial number. Let's see. So this is like import stuff. It's a little hard to read. It says SKS 7639. I guess that's importer SDI Swan, Vermont. Made in Russia. And the new ATF approved serial number is CCP 49820. What that means, I don't know. This is made at the Tula Arsenal. Looks like it says 1953, and then R. Serial number again. Some little proof marks down there I really don't know very well. That might be the serial number again, it's hard to read. At this point, I'm just showing it off. Now, what is the SKS rifle? Like I said, it stands for Self-Loading Carbine Simonov, model 1945. After World War II, the Soviet Union kind of wanted to adopt a whole new suite of firearms revolving around the 7.62x39 cartridge. So they adopted a light machine gun, which was the RPD. They adopted a rifle, which was the SKS. And they adopted a submachine gun, which is going to be the AK-47. So when you think about it, that's kind of a really overpowered cartridge for a submachine gun. But I guess when you're trying to adopt one cartridge for all these guns, you have to make compromises. And that was the compromise. However, what the Soviet Union discovered was that while the SKS might have been a little bit more accurate, the AK-47, or the eventual AKM, final, you know, development version of the AK, was pretty much just as good as the SKS. So the SKS and the Soviet usage got kind of regulated to second line stuff and rear echelon stuff, and I think the Soviet Union started giving SKSs away. Like they gave a bunch to the Vietnamese. I believe Russia gave them to the Vietnamese. Either China or Russia did that. So despite the fact that the SKS was very quickly eclipsed by the AK, it stuck around for a long time. Russia made close to 3 million of them. China probably made more than that. China really liked the SKS for some reason. They made it up until the 1980, I believe. And it's kind of cool because it's an authentic Cold War firearm that you can own and keep in your house, and it's not a machine gun. So keep in mind, anything else that you buy that's an authentic Cold War rifle is probably going to be a machine gun. It's going to have a machine gun price tag on it. So the SKS was almost always semi-automatic. So while very obviously the prices of SKS rifles have gone up since it was like 20 years ago, 25 years ago they were like $200. Now it's like $500, $1,000. So, but let's go through the rifle and objectively look at it. And we're going to start with the back. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. One of my kids was just kind of yelling and screaming. I had to tell him nicely, try to be a little more quiet. That's what happens when you have kids. Anyway, what I want to do is go through the rifle back to front. We'll start with the stock, which is actually quite short. That's one of the first things I noticed. I noticed that it balanced a little bit front heavy, and that this stock is quite short. I don't know the exact length of the pull, I could measure it, but when I'm actually shooting the rifle, I put this Allen recoil pad on it, which adds like maybe an inch to it. And it's not really for recoil absorption. It actually shoots quite pleasantly. I'm just trying to add a little bit of length to the gun. So when I shoot it like that. This is not on very, very tightly. It doesn't look good, but just practically speaking, it adds a little bit of length. But for the video, I'm going to leave it off. In the back, we got this trap door. Now I've gone ahead and already taken out the cleaning kit that's stored in there. It's pretty cool. Like, this is a little like muzzle cover. So if you're cleaning the gun from the muzzle end, you don't damage the crown. That's kind of cool. I'm not going to put it on because I don't want to scratch it because it has a little bit of tension here. But it's like a muzzle protector. We have a pin. I assume this is for disassembly, like helping to remove pins from inside the gun. Brush, like a jag. I think the cleaning kit handle itself, this thing is like a handle for the cleaning rod. That's pretty cool. CN Arsenal has a video on the SKS, and they talk a little bit about the ways this can be used, which is pretty interesting. I believe this is the original cleaning kit. It was in the gun, and it had some like kind of like grime on it, kind of like dirt on it. So I assume it's been sitting there for a while. Now, when I ordered this, I really didn't know if it was going to come with the cleaning kit or not. So what I did was I ordered another one. And supposedly this is like off Amazon. Supposedly this is also Russian. However, it looks a little bit newer. And some of the manufacturing techniques are a little bit different. Like you see, like these marks here are a little bit different. It looks pretty close though. However, this is the one that came with the gun. This is the one I was going to put in. I didn't have one. It looks like all the same stuff. Now, it's a little short. I noticed that when I got it, like this receiver it's kind of recessed a little bit into the wood, and I noticed my hand was rubbing against it. I thought it would annoy me when I was shooting it, but actually it didn't. You got a sling, swivel here. Otherwise, a nice traditionally laid out stock. I like the way the wood looks. I do have a sling that I bought. Again, this is just generic Amazon stuff. Canvas belt, made in Russia. So it is supposedly a Russian sling. Going forward, we have the trigger guard, safety. This is safe. This is fire. I feel like this should be more obvious if that it's on safe. Because a couple times I went like this, and the gun didn't fire, and I didn't realize the safety was on. Top cover. This is the magazine, truly the magazine. I had an SKS rifle at one point. The SKS rifle flopped around a lot more than this. This is a little more tight in the gun. This is the magazine. It's a fixed 10-round magazine, and that is it. Now you can't really do anything much with that. There are some aftermarket SKS magazines that kind of work, but I don't think they work all that well. There is no dedicated like bolt release. The bolt locks back when it rides over an empty magazine. And basically you do one of two things. You can either load it up, or you could drop the magazine and then drop the bolt. Pretty cool. And of course, as you see here, we have our stripper clips. These have all been used up. These are, live cartridges. Today I shot a few different brands. I shot Wolf, and from my local gun store I bought some Tula. And I shot all the Tula ammo up because it was a little bit rusted. Can I show it well on this? Might be hard to see. I have some other ones that were more obvious that the ammo cases were starting to rust. So I wanted to use up all this ammo because it seemed like it probably sitting on the shelf for a long time and was starting to rust. For whatever reason, I had a box of hollow points, one box, and the rest were full metal jackets, and then I had, like I said, some Wolf ammo. This here is Wolf ammo. And I really didn't pay attention to how it was working with different brands. It seemed like it all worked the same. And yeah, I mean, as far as ammo-related stuff goes, it seemed like it didn't matter what kind of ammo was in it. But to load the SKS, as some people know, you got the stripper clips. You can just use loose ammo and just push loose ammo one at a time, or you can use stripper clips. Let's see if it will do with empty cases. It's jamming. Okay, did it. And that's how you can load it. Now there is a little trick that some people talk about, how if you lift up the first cartridge and push down, it makes it a little easier to load. It kind of lines everything up better. I really wasn't doing it from that angle. Let's see if I can chamber this. Nah, jammed it right away. So what can I do? Just drop the magazine. And that is how you can unload your SKS. There we go. So I really just did that for demonstration purposes. Although I think that cartridge went in that chamber. I didn't think it was going to work. So we're just going to take all these off the table. We don't need this anymore. Empty again. Let's put that cleaning rod back in. Cleaning kit back in. You'll be very careful with the SKS. It likes to poke your finger and try to put the cleaning kit back in. So I'm going to try to use this so I don't hit my finger caught again. I think I got it. Yep, there we go. Got it in there. Now we have sights very similar to the AK. I don't think they're identical, but it's the same style of sights, out to 1,000 yards, I guess 1,000 meters. There's the 300-meter battle sight. Then drop it down just a little bit, and it goes down to 100 meters and then out to 1,000. Well, looks very nice. The bayonet is always cool. Cleaning rod here. Bare muzzle, there's no threading. A very AK style front sight. Bayonet you gotta pull down, swing out. Probably helps if you pull out a little bit, let it go on. There you go, bayonet. It's not sharpened per se. However, if you were to stab someone with this hard enough, they would probably feel it. I don't know if you're really supposed to even sharpen these things. I had a Chinese SKS a few years ago, and they basically had like a screwdriver. They call it like a spike. It's a screwdriver. You're stabbing someone with a screwdriver with a Chinese SKS. I believe that to get the cleaning rod out, you got to have this down. I think it's putting tension on it either way. And that's kind of it. There's the gas port here. There's a gas piston here. And then kind of like a gas piston buffer. I don't know the exact point of it. But basically you have this regular piston here. And it goes to kind of a secondary piston here. So it doesn't, the gas piston doesn't directly hit the bolt. Interesting. I don't know why the point of the double piston gas system is. Maybe as like a buffer. Let's just take it apart real quick. Let's see. I'm going to pull up on this basically takedown lever. Point it up. Pull it out. It's going to pop out slightly. There we go. We got the basically top cover. Recoil spring. I'm not going to leave the recoil spring on the table because it's going to leave a mark on the table. But it's a recoil spring, kind of like an AK, how it kind of kinks up like that. Take that off the table. You got your bolt carrier. I guess that's the bolt carrier. That's the bolt. Firing pin is kind of free floated. So if you don't clean your SKS, you can get slam fires. And the piston is just knocking this back. That's all it's doing. You can see how some of this, like I said, I think this has been refinished. And you can see how it's starting to wear that paint off, that black paint that's been applied to it. Now, kind of like an AK, to get the SKS gas tube off, you go like that. Wait, I don't want to go too far. There we go. Take it off like that. Very tight. It's very tight. Like I said, there's a kind of a double gas piston system in here, or like a buffer in here. I don't want to take that out because that one's a little hard to get back in place. Look, there's the gas port. Here's the gas tube, and here is the, I guess, main gas piston. See a little bit of wear on there. It's been shot all of that. I don't think it was shot all that much. It looks like this gas piston might not match this gun, although the wood looked pretty good. Not quite sure about that one. I won't purport to be an expert on SKS rifles, or I won't purport to be an expert on anything in general. Just kind of, I just know enough to be dangerous. Try to get this back together. There we go. Kind of just going in reverse order. Making sure that's down. Leaving your bolts. Just getting stuck on that magazine. I guess magazine follower. We need the recoil spring. I didn't want to put it on the table, even though I got other oil on the table. Make sure this takedown lever is in the up position. Put the top cover on. Push this forward a little bit. There we go. You got yourself a free SKS disassembly video. Oh, I don't have any like paper towels for my hands. Yep, my hands are just dirty now. Now, after all that, how does the SKS rifle shoot? And I'm going to say pretty good. I think this is a fun, enjoyable gun to shoot. I feel like this is more of a range toy. I don't feel like this is more of a modern combat rifle anymore. Although, I mean, there was a long time when it was. Like I said, the length of pull is a little short. I can't shoot it without that recoil pad, but I like the recoil pad on there just to make it a little longer. I think it's a pleasant gun to shoot. I think it's a pretty accurate gun. I was fooling around at 25 yards and I got like this. Let me see if I'm showing it right. This is me at 25 yards. 2 in the bullseye. That's pretty, but I notice I'm going a little bit right with all my targets. This is me just standing 25 yards, just fooling around, unsupported standing. Again, everything's just a little bit to the right. Could be me. A few of those in the bullseye. But everything's kind of going right. So it could be the rifle. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt. It might be me, the best rifle shooter. Well, typically if I'm going to shoot in any direction, I'm going to shoot a little bit left. But it is adjustable. You can get like an adjustment tool. You should be able to press this and move it slightly left and right. I think it's a really fun gun to shoot. Like even just like the clips here, they're kind of fun to use. They're a little finicky. This gun less finicky. It had a Chinese SKS that really gave me a lot of problems with the clips. These are the clips the gun came with, which I believe are Chinese stripper clips. If you can't see, this is Mark 31. And these are these stripper clips the gun came with. Basically, just came like with the gun, some stripper clips, and like a soft Allen case that was unrelated to the gun, but it came in that, so I took it. I think it's a soft shooting gun, or for its caliber, I think it's a soft shooting gun. I think it's accurate. I did have a couple of malfunctions, and they were kind of weird. And again, I'm just gonna kind of give the gun benefit of the doubt because it's like. This gun was made in like 1953. The gun is like 70 years old. But basically, as I was shooting, this happened twice. As I was shooting it, the last cartridge would pop out of the magazine and get stuck like this, like a live cartridge. And I guess the magazine just wasn't holding it right in place, and it just decided to pop out, and then the bolt would hit it like this. So this happened twice. Like just like this. And honestly, I wasn't that mad because I just go like this and good to go. For whatever reason, the cartridge decided to pop out of the magazine. If you know why that happened, or maybe some way I could tweak it, I don't really want to mess around with the feed lips in there. Like, that's what it looks like. I don't know. That's the follower. I don't know. Like I said, 2 times out of 120 rounds. I shot 120 rounds. And it was funny, the gun was starting to get hot. And I guess this is like, where is it? Say like these holes here? I don't know, yeah. There's holes on either side of the gun. I guess gas comes out of here. And my hands were getting all dirty, like, kind of hard to show now, but my hands were getting all dirty from like carbon getting on my hands. But I enjoyed it. I will say that I really did enjoy shooting this gun. In fact, I had more ammo on me, and I was trying to decide: should I stop shooting, or should I shoot some more? Should I save my ammo, or should I keep shooting? So I really did enjoy shooting this gun. The only thing I'll say is, at the indoor range I was at, and it might have just been lighting, I had a little bit of trouble picking up the sights because they are kind of small. Now you have this little notch right there, and the front sight, which I think is the front sight's not bad, but that rear sight's a little small, and just I think the lighting of the indoor range I was at made it a little bit hard to pick up the sights. So if I could just say something, maybe the sights could be a little bit better. But this gun was made 70 years ago, so they're not really going to take much criticism about it now. So can I recommend the SKS rifle? And the answer is, kind of depends, because my blanket answer would be no. Because 98% of the time, if you want a rifle, regardless of caliber, 5.56, 7.62 by 39, just buy an AR-15. Honestly, 7.60 by 39 ammo is actually no longer cheaper than 5.56. Because this is going to be a little bit over $10 a box. But something like this, 5.56, I bought this for under $10 a box. So there's not even a price savings anymore. So if you're going to buy a rifle, you should probably buy a 5.56. If you're going to buy a 5.56 rifle, you should probably buy an AR-15. So if you need a rifle, like if you don't have anything and you're thinking about buying something, buy an AR-15. Buy PSA, Anderson, Radical Firearms. It's going to be very good for the money. Buy a 5.56 AR-15. But if you want something just cool and collectible, yeah, of course. If you just want something to fool around with, yes, of course. But as a frontline fighting rifle, buy an AR-15. But if you want something cool and collectible, yeah, of course, it works fine. No one's ever like doubted the fact the SKS works. People have just doubted whether or not it was kind of a little bit obsolescent with the fixed 10-round magazine. That's pretty much anyone's only complaint about the SKS. You can't really mount an optic, it's true. Number one, fixed 10-round magazine. Number two, can't really mount an optic to it. It wasn't made for it. It didn't get the update the way that the AK did, where the AK gets that side rail. There really is no good way to mount an optic on this gun. There are certain things where you replace the top cover with like scope mounts, or maybe weird things where you put stuff on the handguard, replace the handguard, replace the... There's no good way to mount an optic on this gun, so maybe don't. I did have this off to the side. I don't know if it was on camera at all. I bought a sling. The gun did not come with the sling, so this is like a generic AK SKS sling made in Russia, so I'm going to probably put that on there. And that's it. I think the gun's pretty much good to go. It pretty much worked. Didn't really have to tweak it too much. Like maybe I could buy a sight tool and kind of push the sight a little bit, but it just worked. It just worked. So credit's due. Even 7 years later, the SKS rifle still works fine. Anything else to add before we go? You know what? No. Leave it at that. This is Steven from the Even Steven channel. Please don't like, share, and subscribing. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I will see you next time. Thank you, and goodbye.